If I have seen further than others, it is by standing upon the shoulders of giants. We build too many walls and not enough bridges. If I have ever made any valuable discoveries, it has been due more to patient attention than to any other talent. Gravity explains the motions of the planets, but it cannot explain who sets the planets in motion. I do not know what I may appear to the world, but to myself I seem to have been only like a boy playing on the seashore, and diverting myself in now and then finding a smoother pebble or a prettier shell than ordinary. Whilst the great ocean of truth, my powers are ordinary. Only my application brings me success. If I am anything, which I highly doubt, I have made myself so by hard work. To explain all nature is too difficult a task for any one man or even for any one age. An object that is at rest will tend to stay at rest. An object that is in motion will tend to stay in motion. Truth is ever to be found in the simplicity, and not in the multiplicity and confusion of things. All knowledge and understanding of the universe was no more than playing with stones and shells on the seashore of the vast imponderable ocean of truth. To myself I am only a child playing on the beach, while vast oceans of truth lie undiscovered before me. He who thinks half-heartedly will not believe in God, but he who really thinks has to believe in God. The way to chastity is not to struggle directly with incontinent thoughts but to avert the thoughts by some employment, or by reading, or meditating on other things. This most beautiful system of the sun, planets, and comets could only proceed from the counsel and dominion of an intelligent and powerful being. Atheism is so senseless. When I look at the solar system, I see the Earth at the right distance from the Sun to receive the proper amounts of heat and light. This did not happen by chance. If I had stayed for other people to make my tools and things for me, I had never made anything. I have a fundamental belief in the Bible as the Word of God, written by those who were inspired. I study the Bible daily. A man may imagine things that are false, but he can only understand things that are true, for if the things be false, the apprehension of them is not understanding. I know not how I seem to others, but to myself I am but a small child wandering upon the vast shores of knowledge, every now and then finding a small bright pebble to content myself with while the vast ocean of undiscovered truth lay before me. Nature does nothing in vain when less will serve, for nature is pleased with simplicity and affects not the pomp of superfluous causes. I do not know what I may appear to the world, but to myself I seem to have been only a boy playing on the seashore. I keep the subject of my inquiry constantly before me, and wait till the first dawning opens gradually, by little and little, into a full and clear light. As a blind man has no idea of colors, so we have no idea of the manner by which the all-wise God perceives and understands all things. There are more sure marks of authenticity in the Bible than in any profane history. God in the beginning formed matter in solid, massy, hard, impenetrable, movable particles, of such sizes and figures, and with such other properties, and in such proportion to space, as most conduce to the end for which he formed them. Philosophy is such an impertinently litigious lady that a man had as good be engaged in lawsuits as have to do with her. The wonderful arrangement and harmony of the cosmos would only originate in the plan of an almighty omniscient being. This is and remains my greatest comprehension. The latest authors, like the most ancient, strove to subordinate the phenomena of nature to the laws of mathematics. Centripetal force is the force by which bodies are drawn from all sides, are impelled, or in any way tend, toward some point as to a center. For the rays, to speak properly, have no color. In them there is nothing else than a certain power and disposition to stir up a sensation of this color or that. If you are affronted, it is better to pass it by in silence, or with a jest, though with some dishonor, than to endeavor revenge. If you can keep reason above passion, that and watchfulness will be your best defenders. Yet one thing secures us whatever betide, the Scriptures assures us that the Lord will provide. What Descartes did was a good step. You have added much several ways, and especially in taking the colors of thin plates into philosophical consideration. If I have seen a little further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. Trials are medicines which our gracious and wise physician prescribes because we need them, and he proportions the frequency and weight of them to what the case requires. Let us trust his skill and thank him for his prescription. We are not to consider the world as the body of God. He is an uniform being, void of organs, members, or parts, and they are his creatures, subordinate to him, and subservient to his will. God is able to create particles of matter of several sizes and figures and perhaps of different densities and forces, and thereby to vary the laws of nature, and make worlds of several sorts in several parts of the universe. The changing of bodies into light, and light into bodies, is very conformable to the course of nature, which seems delighted with transmutations. The instinct of brutes and insects can be the effect of nothing else than the wisdom and skill of a powerful ever-living agent. Every body persists in a state of rest or of uniform motion in a straight line, unless it is compelled to change that state by forces having impact upon it. To any action there is always an opposite and equal reaction. In other words, the actions of two bodies upon each other are always equal and always opposite in direction. Therefore, to the same natural effects we must, as far as possible, assign the same causes. To me there has never been a higher source of earthly honor or distinction than that connected with advances in science. You sometimes speak of gravity as essential and inherent to matter. Pray do not ascribe that notion to me, for the cause of gravity is what I do not pretend to know, and therefore would take more time to consider of it. The description of right lines and circles, upon which geometry is founded, belongs to mechanics. Geometry does not teach us to draw these lines, but requires them to be drawn. Impressed force is the action exerted on a body to change its state either of resting or of moving uniformly straight forward. The seed of a tree has the nature of a branch or twig or bud. It is a part of the tree, but if separated and set in the earth to be better nourished, the embryo or young tree contained in it takes root and grows into a new tree.